what a treat. Another episode of Desperate Men discover they're not a priority. Grab some popcorn, cause the drama is about to hit hard. So, my friend, you finally realize that some women treat certain men like disposable toys. Congrats, Sherlock. You uncovered the obvious. They throw a crumb of attention your way, make you think you got a shot, and then, BAM! They vanish faster than your paycheck at the end of the month. And of course, when you finally muster a hint of dignity and walk away, here comes the classic, "Hey, stranger." A simple test to see if the sucker is still hanging around on the shelf. And the worst part, guys keep falling for it. Like those pigeons in the park who come running when someone tosses a breadcrumb. They believe that if they're good, patient, understanding, loving, and all those cute adjectives that only work in a soap opera, one day they'll be rewarded. What a beautiful dream, right? But no, because, my dear, what's always available like mall Wi-Fi just isn't valued. So here's a wake-up call. If you're constantly chasing after her, accepting mere scraps of attention, and settling for the emotional backup role, then you've already lost big time. It's like getting crushed 7-1, and you didn't even notice. But hold on, the rescue is here. In this video, I'm gonna show you the 7 moves of a man with self-respect. A man who doesn't beg for affection, who knows his worth, and if he doesn't get it reciprocated, he turns around and walks away. No goodbye note attached. These aren't tips. They're psychological weapons that'll make any woman see you in a whole new light. And get this, the final move, number 7, is the most brutal. Few have the guts to pull it off, but those who do quickly learn that the game changes in a way even Netflix couldn't script. So listen up, because every word here might be the difference between remaining a disposable extra or finally becoming the prize. Before we dive in, a quick shout out. This video exists only because someone liked and subscribed before you did. So do your part, stop freeloading on free content like a digital parasite, and smash that like button. Not for me, but for the algorithm, so this reality check reaches more lost souls. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 1, the issue. Why do women test men? Welcome to the jungle, my friend. If you haven't noticed yet, women are constantly testing men. And no, it's not because they have a mental checklist or a schedule for emotional torture. Most aren't even aware they're doing it. Deep down, they just want to figure out if they're dealing with a real man or another needy schmuck who'll accept every scrap of attention. And guess what? If you fail those tests, congrats. You're automatically downgraded to disposable status. Not exactly an enviable prize, right? What are these tests? They're subtle, cruel little games. She takes hours to reply to your messages, but when you disappear for a bit, miracle. She pops back up with the classic, "I missed you." Or when you ask her out, she's always busy. Poor thing, her life must be a never-ending emergency. But as soon as you stop chasing, she reappears, all interested, as if nothing ever happened. This is because, for many women, male attention is a valuable resource. Some use it to boost their own ego. Others do it out of habit, keeping a few suckers on reserve emotionally. Just like that person who never deletes an ex's number, just in case. And what happens to those who play along? They become the default backup plan, the boring entertainment when nothing better is available, like that movie no one pays to see on Netflix, but everyone watches when they're bored. The big truth is, this behavior is never openly declared. No woman's gonna look you in the eye and say, "Look, I only hit you up when I'm bored because I like knowing you're still in my pocket." Instead, she subtly doles out bits of attention to keep you hooked. And here's the brutal truth. If you accept this game, it's not her fault, it's yours. Swallow that bitter pill because you're teaching her you're not worth taking seriously. You're saying without words that you're happy being her backup plan. But that stops now. If you want respect, if you want to be truly valued, you must act like a man who knows his worth. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you. The 7 moves that a real man uses so he never accepts scraps of attention again. Buckle up, because the next part is only for those brave enough to change the game. Number 2, Stop chasing when she's not showing interest. Here we go with the golden rule from the How to Stop Being an Emotional Doormat manual. The first mistake that turns you into a disposable guy is this: chasing after a woman who couldn't care less. Seriously, if this were an Olympic sport, a ton of guys would be standing on the podium. It's pathetic, but it's the reality. Because the moment you chase someone who clearly isn't giving you any attention, you're sending a loud message to the universe, and especially to her. Hey, my worth is so low, I'm willing to beg for your time and attention. Please humiliate me a little more. And what's the reward for that behavior? Exactly. A lifetime gig as her backup. The predictable guy she knows she can keep on ice with a few tossed-out crumbs of attention. What if she's busy? Poor thing, right? She's so swamped she can't spare 10 seconds for a hey. Yet miraculously, she always finds time to post stories, hang with her friends, and pay attention to other guys. Listen up. Genuine interest doesn't create doubt. If a woman really likes you, she'll show it. She'll want to talk. She'll want to see you. If you're constantly wondering, does she even like me? The answer is right there. No, she doesn't. So what does a man who values himself do? He uses his eyes and his brain. He observes her behavior. If he notices that, he's always the one messaging first. He's the one always trying to set something up and gets lame excuses in return. He only gets tepid, half-hearted responses. What does he do? He stops. Plain and simple. No more needy good mornings. No more relentless invitations. No more settling for emotional crumbs. And here comes the fun part. The moment you stop chasing someone who doesn't care, magic happens. You send a clear message. I don't need you. If you want to be in my life, great. If not, that's your problem. I'm moving on. And she notices. She feels it. And sometimes she starts to get a little anxious. Suddenly, the guy who was always there is gone. And then, my friend, the panic sets in. Her mind goes into overdrive. Did he lose interest? Maybe he found someone else? And guess what? Often just the fact that you disappeared makes her come after you. But here's the secret. When that happens, do not go back to being the pushover you once were. If she reaches out, don't jump right back in. If you keep chasing every time she sends a tiny signal, the cycle starts all over again, and soon you're back to being her repeat extra. Be the man who values his own time. Don't waste it chasing someone who won't make you a priority. Because here's the harsh truth. The right woman will never make you feel like you have to beg for attention. Number 3, never accept constant cancellations. Nothing's more classic than the sorry something came up move, right? You rearrange your schedule, get excited, plan the meetup, and bam, the cancellation hits you like a punch to the gut. But hold up, the problem isn't one cancellation, it's when it becomes a habit. And as always, the excuses are a show of their own. Oh no, my great aunt died again. Suddenly got a killer headache. I think I have to study on the day we planned. I'm just so tired, sorry. And the best part? When a guy who really interests her comes along, suddenly her availability reappears like magic. If this sounds familiar, it's time to face the truth. The problem isn't her schedule, it's your spot in her priority list. Here's the big truth you need to swallow. Women make time for the men they really want to see. If she's always canceling, rescheduling, or coming up with lame excuses, it means you're not topping her list. And here's the tragic detail. Most suckers do the same old thing when this happens. They try to be understanding. They say, okay, let's plan for another day, like obedient little lambs. They stay available, eagerly waiting for the next round of being snubbed. And before you know it, you're reinforcing the idea that you can be ditched without consequence. Now check out what a man who values himself does. If a woman cancels a date, he doesn't argue, complain, or beg. He simply accepts it. But he doesn't give a second chance so easily. If she cancels, the ball is now in her court. It's her job to reschedule. If that doesn't happen, he takes the hint and disappears without a backward glance. And guess what? That shows her you're different, that you're not desperate, that you won't be treated as a mere pastime. And suddenly her mind goes into overdrive. Wait, wasn't he being pushy? Did he lose interest? Maybe he found someone else? And that thought triggers her fear of loss. Let me be crystal clear. This isn't playing games. This isn't revenge. This is self-respect. If a woman really likes you, she'll show it. If she doesn't, don't waste your time trying to convince her. Just move on and focus your energy where it's truly appreciated. If you're sick and tired of being the idiot who accepts scraps and still gets kicked around, then wake up, my friend. Stop being her doormat. Head to the description, grab that digital book I left for you, and learn how to turn the table. After that, you'll never lower your head again, never beg for attention, and you'll know exactly how to become a real challenge. Or keep playing the court jester in her emotional theater. The choice is yours. Number 4, never explain or apologize for valuing yourself. The classic scene of male humiliation. The guy who feels he needs to apologize for having standards. It's pitiful. The poor soul, in his desperate attempt to please, starts over-explaining, justifying everything, even apologizing for breathing. And you know what that says? Weakness, neediness, lack of backbone. Because when you feel the need to justify or apologize for doing what elevates you, you're essentially holding up a sign that reads, "Please, understand me, don't be mad. I'm still a good guy. I promise I'll be your little puppy if you want." Ridiculous, right? Yet it happens all the time. Have you ever fallen into that trap? You say you can't go out because you have something important. And then she drops that venomous line. "Wow, it doesn't even seem like you care about me." And instead of just moving on like the man you are, what do? "No, that's not it. I do care, but I'm really busy." Or even worse, you notice she's treating you with indifference, so you decide to stop chasing. But then she notices and asks, "Hey, where'd you go?" And what does the fool do? "Oh, I was waiting for you to call me because I didn't want to be a bother." Congrats, you just stamped your passport to the land of disposable men.
Here's the deal.
A man who values himself doesn't need approval. He doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. A man who values himself does not explain. He acts. If he decides to stop chasing, he simply stops. If he has other commitments, he doesn't feel the need to justify. If he senses disrespect, he walks away without explanations. Simple as that. Now that doesn't mean being a jerk. It's not about treating people badly or being rude. It's about knowing you don't have to justify your decisions to be accepted. So next time a woman tests you with snide remarks or disguised demands, stand your ground. Don't apologize for having your own life. Don't explain why you stopped chasing someone who doesn't put you first. Don't beg for validation like a helpless victim. Because here's the secret. Women respect men who know who they are and don't need their approval to act. In short, stop over-explaining and start standing up for yourself. Number 5, stop replying to messages instantly. Oh, my friend, this is the classic mistake of a needy guy with nothing better to do. You know when she sends a hi and bam, you reply instantly faster than a bill notification? Congrats, you've just turned into a virtual puppy. Now tell me, what happens when something's guaranteed? When you know you can get it any time with zero effort? You start taking it for granted. That's exactly what happens when you reply at lightning speed. You remove the element of unpredictability, the challenge, the thrill. She realizes she's got complete control over your attention. And what does a woman do when she knows she's got a guy in the palm of her hand? She loses interest. But I just wanted to show I cared. Oh, that's sweet. But what you're really saying is, my time means nothing. I'm always here waiting for you. My life is so empty that I can drop everything to reply immediately. Please notice me. I'll do anything to please you. And that's why the faster you reply, the less interested she becomes. So what's the right move? Mirror her behavior. If she takes 3 hours to reply and you answer in 3 minutes, wrong! If she reads your message and doesn't reply, and you keep pushing the conversation, bigger mistake. The solution is simple. Give messages a lower priority. It doesn't mean completely ignoring her, but it shows you have a busy life and can't drop everything for a hi. But be careful. The worst mistake is announcing it out loud. Hey, I'll be slow replying 'cause I'm busy. Sorry for the delay. I've got other things going on. It just sounds like you're trying to act important. Just do it. If you've got a truly interesting life, it'll naturally show. And here comes the fun part. When a woman notices you're not always available, everything changes. Her mind flips. Why isn't he replying quickly? Did he lose interest? Is he talking to someone else? Boom. You just activated a powerful psychological trigger. Now, speaking of attention, the next move is crucial to avoid becoming that nice guy she keeps around but never truly picks. Number 6. Never settle as the nice guy she keeps around. This is the classic mistake of the emotional pushover. You know, that guy who's always ready to listen, help, compliment, but never truly gets chosen. Sound familiar? Welcome to the free admission club of backup guys, where entry is free but dignity is left at the door. Many guys fall into this trap because they believe in a ridiculous fantasy. If I'm patient and show how amazing I am, one day she'll notice and choose me. Wake up, man! If a woman sees you as just a friend or an emotional pastime, that perception isn't going to change. While you're there, available like a 24/7 call center, offering emotional support and thinking you're racking up points, guess what she's doing? She's out with someone else. Someone who often puts in only 10% of what you do, yet sparks a completely different kind of interest in her. Want to know if you're playing the backup role? Look for these signs. She calls you when she needs to vent, but never asks you out. She showers you with compliments. You're so amazing, so special, such a different guy, yet never gives you a real chance. You feel like you have to work to be noticed while she gives zero effort to other guys. If you're checking off all these boxes, congrats. You're her emotional support, but never the guy she really wants. So what's the right move? Simply, if you want to be more than a pastime, be ready to walk away when you realize you're being treated as such. If she only reaches out to vent but never asks you out, stop replying. If she only sees you as a friend while hyping up other guys, don't stick around waiting for a miracle. Cut that crap from your life and move on. Sounds harsh? That's your problem. What won't work is tricking yourself into thinking that someday things will change. And the most ironic part? When you walk away, the whole dynamic flips. Suddenly, she starts wondering, where'd that always available guy go? Did he get tired of me? Maybe he met someone else? And before you know it, the tables turn, because now you decide if she still deserves your attention. Now, moving on to being truly valued. The next move is the final card. Number 7, be the man she's afraid of losing. This is the difference between the guy who attracts women and the one who begs for attention. The first has such a fascinating life that she's scared of missing out. The second makes her the center of his universe and becomes a total drag. Listen up. Women don't want to be the center of your life. They want to be part of a life that's already exciting on its own. There's a name for it. FOMO, fear of missing out. It's that fear of missing out on something amazing. Now think about it. If all you do in your free time is sit on WhatsApp waiting for her to have time for you, if your entire routine revolves around whether she'll reply or want to see you, if you're always the available guy, ready for anything, anytime, what kind of message does that send? My life is so boring that you're the only exciting part. I have nothing better to do, so I'm always here waiting for you to notice me. My happiness depends on your response. And you know what happens when a woman picks up on that? Her interest evaporates instantly. Now look at what a man who values himself does. He builds an incredible life, hobbies, projects, gym, travel, work he loves, true friends. He's always on the move, growing, learning, living. He doesn't need anyone to feel complete. And that's what makes him irresistible, because his attention isn't guaranteed. Because he's not available 24/7 like a lapdog. Because he has options, and that makes her want to compete for his attention. And then the magic happens. When she realizes your life goes on without her, something stirs inside her. Am I missing out on something? Did he find someone else? If I don't act, will I be left out? Boom, the game changes. Now she feels that FOMO. Now she realizes that if she doesn't show interest, someone else might. Now she wants to be part of your life. But listen, this has to be genuine. Don't fake an exciting life just to impress her. If your life is boring, start investing in yourself. When you truly build a routine that makes you happy, gives you energy and purpose, women feel that. They see it in your posture, your words, your confidence. And here comes the best part. The final move, the most powerful of them all. The one that makes any woman realize in the worst way possible that she just lost a real man. Get ready. Number 8, learn to walk away without explanations. Now, we're at the final act. the ultimate test that separates men who are respected from the fools who get used and tossed aside without ceremony. Most guys, when they realize they're being treated like a sucker, do what? They try to argue. They try to make her understand. They send long texts saying they didn't like how they were treated. They ask if they did something wrong. They beg her to be clearer. Oh, how cute. Trying to explain to a woman that she should treat you better. But here's the brutal truth. If you need to tell someone to treat you right, you've already lost. Why? Because she knows exactly what she's doing. She knows when she's testing you. She knows when she's putting you as her backup. She knows when she's treating you like disposable trash. And if she keeps doing it, it's because you've somehow shown that you'll accept that kind of treatment. So what's the only correct response? Absolute silence. No long texts. No dramatic goodbyes. No emotional explanations. If a woman doesn't give you the priority you deserve, if she treats you as a backup and uses you like a doormat, just vanish. No notes, no warnings, no tears. And you know what happens when you do that? It blows her mind. Because unlike most men, you're not begging to stay. You're not asking for respect. You simply disappear, as if she was never essential in your life. And that, my friend, makes a massive impact. At first, she might not even notice. Maybe she'll think you'll come crawling back like all the other suckers she's manipulated. But over time, when she sees that you really disappeared, that you don't send messages, that you don't worry about her anymore, it hits her hard. Did he find someone else? Why isn't he chasing me? Did he not miss me at all? And that emptiness you left makes her realize she lost a truly different man. Now I know many guys will say, but I can't just leave without explaining. I need to close things with a final speech. Go ahead, do that. And watch her leave you on read while you bury your last shot at respect. Because the impact only works if you vanish. Either she comes crawling back in regret, or you free yourself from someone who never truly valued you. Either way, you win. And that wraps up the 8 moves that make any woman see you in a whole new way. Before we finish, here's a final thought. If you still fall into these traps, it's your fault. Now that you've seen the raw truth, there's no excuse to keep being played for a fool. You've seen how many women test men, how they keep some around just to boost their ego, and how most guys end up like clueless ducks. But now, if you apply these 7 moves, it'll never happen to you again. Quick recap for the slowpokes. 1. Stop chasing when she doesn't show interest. You're not here to beg for attention. If she doesn't reciprocate, walk away. 2. Never accept constant cancellations. If she really wants to see you, she'll find a way. If she cancels without rescheduling, she's not valuing you. 3. Never explain or apologize for valuing yourself. You don't need her approval to be a high-value man. Only the guilty have something to justify, and you're not one of them. 4. Stop replying instantly to messages. If your attention is taken for granted, it loses its value. Let her feel the absence. 5. Never settle as the nice guy she keeps around. You're not her emotional pastime. If she doesn't see you as a priority, cut her loose without hesitation. 6. Build a life so interesting that she's scared of missing out. Be the man she fears losing, not the pushover who's always available. 7. Learn to walk away without explanations. If she disrespects you, vanish. No texts, no drama, no last chances. Apply these moves and watch the change. Women will start treating you with respect. You'll become a priority, not just an option. Those who ditched you will eventually regret it. Now tell me, which of these moves have you already tried? Which one is still a challenge for you? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I really want to know your experience. And if this video opened your eyes, hit that like button and subscribe, because in the next video, I'm going to show you the signs a woman is testing your value without you even noticing. And believe me, if you don't learn to recognize these signs, you'll keep falling into the same trap. See you around. Or not, if you keep being a sucker.